Gente! Oi, pessoal, tudo bem? Hello, everyone. Just checking if the camera is in the right position. Welcome to this Q&A. I'm very excited to be here with you today. Let me check who is here. Tudo bom, Monica? Chandler? Léo, Aleida, Alex, Siddhartha, Jacob, Pedro, Anne-Marie, tudo bom? Margus, Mabel, so good to see you. So I'm live in two places. I'm live on YouTube and also Instagram. Tudo bom, gente? So good to be with you today. It's a beautiful day in New York. Como está o tempo na sua cidade? How is the weather in your city? Let me know. Is it summer or winter? In Brazil, it's a very cold. They're having a very cold winter this year, which is crazy. Oi, Roger, Ciaran, Sunny, Eva, Liam, Michael, Marcus, David, Alex. Tudo bom? Okay, guys, so before we start the Q&A, I'm here to help you and answer your questions. But before we start, I have two important announcements. The first one is to invite you to join the challenge that I created if you have not joined yet. So I created a 30-day challenge and to encourage you to practice Portuguese every day for 30 days to create the habit of practicing Portuguese a little bit per day. And also this is a very good opportunity for you to start learning Portuguese or to review important content in Portuguese. So go take a look on the website speakingbrazilian.com/desafio. Desafio means challenge. To sign up, it's free. And on the website, you have access to a material that I prepared for this challenge, all the assignments and instructions on how to complete each assignment. Okay, so I highly recommend you do that to start learning Portuguese or review if your level is already intermediate. It will be a good review for you, tá bem? And if you want to join the challenge with me, I'm posting the challenge every day on Instagram. And also, if you post a video and tag me, I'm going to share your video with the other people. So go check my Instagram account to see the challenge and all the assignments and also all the people, what people are saying and doing the challenge. Okay, so this is a good practice for you guys. 30 days and I started this August 3rd and I'll do this challenge until September 1st. But if you can join, if you're just finding out about that now, you can join the challenge at any moment. Okay, there is no the course to be available on the website even after we finish this first 30 days. Tá bem? And the second announcement for you guys is that my new courses are going to start in September. So if you have been waiting, if you want to join one of my courses, go to my website and take a look at the courses that I offer. I offer 4 courses, a beginner's course if you're a beginner, and also other courses for upper beginner and intermediate level students. So go take a look on my website. Inscriptions will be open from August 15th to August 21st. And classes start on September 1st. Okay, so if you want to start learning Portuguese with me, go check it out. Go take a look at the courses that I offer. And you'll find more information on my website. And I'll also talk a little bit about that in our next live classes. Tá bem? And okay, one more announcement. I just remembered I'm also teaching 2 live classes to help you with the challenge and to help you with your Portuguese on August 15th. At 2 p.m. New York time, and also August 21st at 2 p.m. New York time. So add it to a calendar. I'll be live. And to have more information about these classes, sign up for the challenge on the website speakingbrazilian.com/desafio. Tá bem? Okay, guys, I see many comments. If you have any questions for me, I'm here to answer your questions. If you are on YouTube, you just type the question on the comment section. If I don't see your question, you can just copy and paste and post it again. And if you're watching me on Instagram, remember to use the question mark tool because it's much easier for me to see your question if you use that tool, okay? It's hard for me to read your comments. Muito bom, gente! Muito bom, so many comments. De Minas Gerais, Rafaela, que legal. Oi, Florence, está chuvoso e friozinho em Londres. So, I've heard that London is always like that, right? Sayad, tudo bom? So, Sayad, eu falo inglês porque há alunos de todos os níveis nesta aula, por isso eu estou falando inglês, para que todos possam me entender. Mas vamos praticar português também. So I'm just saying that I'm speaking English because this class is for everyone, even if you're a beginner, you should be able to follow this class. That's why I'm speaking English. But I'm here to answer your questions and I'm going to help you with your Portuguese if you have questions about Portuguese, okay? Muito bom, gente. Okay, so let's start talking about the questions that you have. I received some questions in advance, so I'm going to start with those, and then I'm going to move on to your questions that you are asking me now, tá bem? So I have a list of questions here. Muito bom. Oops, it's upside down. So the first question from Bermudez. The favorite part, what is my favorite part about being a language teacher? So this is a personal question. It is, my favorite part is to meet people from all over the world who are interested in learning Brazilian Portuguese. So this is definitely my favorite part, to be here with you guys. And I have students following me from all over the world. It is so amazing to have the opportunity to be in contact with so many people from so many places. So second question from Gringo Lot. He's asking, para que nível você recomendaria usar flashcards? So what level, you should use flashcards to study Portuguese? Well, I think that flashcards are useful for everyone, any level, but particularly for beginners, I would say, because when you get to an intermediate level, it is so much easier for you to understand vocabulary in context, right? So you hear people speaking and then you can understand even words that you don't understand, you understand by context, but it's impossible to do that at a beginner level because you cannot understand anything. So really, I think that using flashcards will really help you learn vocabulary. So I think beginner level is really essential to use flashcards. I recommend the app called Anki app, Anki app, and web. And I created a flashcard. If you type on Google, speaking Brazilian Anki, you find a deck that I created for beginner level students, and you can start there. And then I recommend that you add your own cards, so you study vocabulary that is relevant to you. Tá bem? Okay, but once you get to the intermediate level, I really recommend that you don't worry too much about memorizing things. Listen to the language as much as possible, and then you will learn a lot of vocabulary by context. That's what I do in the languages that I'm learning. Muito bom. Next question, próxima pergunta from linguist.com. So she's asking about the words wherever, whenever, however, whatever, how to create these words in Portuguese. So this is interesting because it depends on the context. So really I would need a sentence to help you translate these words. They could be translated into Portuguese in different ways. Então, por exemplo, if you want to say whatever you want, you should say o que você quiser. So it really depends on the context, right? You could also use the word qualquer, for example, if you want to say wherever, it could mean like qualquer dia. Whenever, if you say whenever, it could mean qualquer dia, or it could mean, usually when you say whenever you want, then you should say in Portuguese, quando você quiser, ou sempre que você quiser. So as you see, I'm using future subjunctive tense here with this phrases. But yeah, this is a longer topic, as you can see, because it really depends on the context. But this is a very interesting topic, actually. I think I'm gonna make a video about this, giving you some examples on how to use these words in Portuguese, because it really depends on the context. Very good question. Então, próxima pergunta, next question. So, Mr. Pessimist is asking, how can I practice oral conversations, right? Practice speaking. So it really depends. There are many ways that you can practice speaking Portuguese. So 3 options. I highly recommend, if you can, to join a course. So you practice with people, right? With a teacher that will help you speak and other students. So if you're interested in courses, go check it out, the courses that I offer in my school. You can study from home, and in other courses you meet the teacher via Zoom and other students, so you can really practice speak and you have someone helping you. And second thing, if you don't want to join a course, you can try to find a language partner. There are many apps that offer that. I think that Hello Talk, I never used it, but I've heard it's a good app where you can find people to practice Portuguese with. Maybe you can practice, I don't know what is your native language, but maybe you could help the person with your English and then they would help you with your Portuguese. And the third option, if you want to practice by yourself, it is to do imitation exercises. So this is how I do this a lot. I don't have much time to have classes and practice with other people. So what I do, I listen to podcasts and I speak out loud in the language that I'm learning. And that is a very good way to practice speaking by yourself. And I promise it helps. If you do that for a few minutes every day, it helps you to become more fluent and helps you improve your pronunciation by yourself. So there you go. Next question from Lene. So asking if it works to use Duolingo and YouTube together. Well, it is. They are very useful tools. I don't believe that you can learn a language using Duolingo only or any app, but I think they're useful tools to use in addition to other things, a course or classes or anything else that you're doing. And I think that you can learn a lot from YouTube. There are so many videos available on YouTube, so many teachers. But to learn on YouTube, you really need to have a lot of discipline, right? You need to be really consistent, and you need to, write down and do exercises and speak out loud, because if you just watch the video and don't do anything, it will not help you too much. But I think it works if you're really a good student. So good luck. Next question. I'm almost done here, then I'm gonna move on to your questions that I see. Some questions from you guys. So next question is from Ranger. My handwriting is not good here. Okay, so the question is about the pronunciation of the letters D and R. He's looking for a short version, so I'm sorry to tell you that's not a short version. These letters in Portuguese, they have a lot of details, right? The letter D and R. Depends on the position of the word, and it depends on the letter that comes before or after. So a lot of details. That is not a short version. So I recommend you sign up if you have questions about pronunciation in Brazilian Portuguese. I created a free course. It is available on my website, and in this course I teach all the most important details about Brazilian Portuguese pronunciation, including the sound of these letters D and R, how to pronounce these letters in Brazilian Portuguese. So you find this course for free on my website, speakingbrazilian.com. Okay, and last question that I have here on my list is from Nicholas. What inspired you to teach a language? Is also a personal question. So what inspired me is that I've been always passionate about languages. I started learning languages when I was very young, and I always loved it, but I never thought about teaching Portuguese. I realized that it would be a possibility after I moved to New York City, because in Brazil I used to work with something else. I did study languages at the university just because I liked it, but in Brazil I worked with other things. And then when I moved to the US, I was out of job, and then I decided and I was studying English in Berlitz. It's one of school in New York City. And then I decided, maybe I could teach Portuguese, and I started doing that just for curiosity and just to do something to start working in the US. And then I fell in love with the feeling of teaching Portuguese, and I had a degree in Portuguese and French that I went to the university in Brazil, so I thought, okay, why not? So it was a combination of things, and then after that I never stopped. So it has been many years now that I've been teaching Portuguese as a second language. Very good questions, guys. Okay, so I'm done with my list. Now I'm gonna read some of your questions. If you are watching me on Instagram, remember to use the question mark tool to ask your questions so I can see your question easily. It's hard for me to read your comments. So I'm gonna look from some questions here on YouTube. If you have a question, please copy and paste again because it's hard for me to go back and read all your comments. So I'm gonna see here. So I see Martin saying, I learn English in Portuguese with your videos. That's good to know. So question from Sabrina. Quão diferente você se sentiu ao dirigir na América a princípio do Brasil? I'm not sure I understand the question. You mean driving? Dirigir? Coming from Brazil? You know that I moved from São Paulo to New York. In São Paulo, I did have to drive. In São Paulo, it is difficult to get to places if you don't have a car. So I did drive in São Paulo. Lots of traffic. It's a little bit stressful. But then when I moved to New York, I decided to stop driving because in New York City, you don't need a car. But then now I moved upstate, and upstate, I do need a car. So I'm only getting my driver's license now. I have my learner permit, and I just started driving in the US. And so far it has been normal. It's very similar to Brazil, to be honest, especially if you have driven in São Paulo and Rio, which are big cities with a lot of traffic. I think if you go to Brazil and you drive in São Paulo or Rio, it's easy to drive anywhere else. I'm not sure I answered your question, Sabrina. Okay, guys, questions. Okay. So very personal question from Afel Lufa. Are you religious? No, I'm not religious. I'm agnostic, but I respect everyone's beliefs. So question from Rafaela. Oi, professora, can you talk about the word nós? Not the pronoun. Oh, nós, I think it is, are you talking about the preposition? Because nós can be a pronoun or a preposition. So if you're talking about the preposition nós, you're talking about the preposition em, actually. Em plus, we connect the preposition em, em, with the articles os, as, and then the nós preposition is used before masculine plural nouns. So if you want to say, for instance, I am in the United States. United States is a masculine plural word. So you should say, eu estou nos Estados Unidos. Eu estou nos Estados Unidos. Usually I'm pronouncing slowly so you can see, but actually when you speak normally, it's very fast. Eu estou nos Estados Unidos. Eu estou nos Estados Unidos. So to talk about location, you should use this preposition, and also in many other cases. So I recommend, I made a video about this. You'll find on my YouTube channel. Look for a video on the preposition em, em. And this is one of the variations of this preposition. Muito bom. Other questions? Questions from Marcos de Montreal. Bonjour, Marcos. So, qual é a diferença entre estava e era? So here your question actually is, what is the difference between verb estar and ser? Because these two verbs, they are translated into French and English as the same thing. So it's the verb être en français and the verb to be in English. That's why it's so confusing for you guys. But I have many videos about this on YouTube. You use verb estar to talk about temporary things or things that don't last a long time. And we use verb ser, which is era, and imperfect tense, to talk about permanent things or things that last a long time. And these two examples that you gave me, estava and era, they are in imperfect tense, which we do have in French, and we don't have that in English, but if you speak French, which I think you do, it is just like the imparfait en français. But then here, really you have to study how to use these two verbs, ser and estar. So look, I made a video about this, and it is available on my YouTube channel. Take a look at that video, the difference between verbs ser and estar. But I'm going to give you two examples now. Let me see. So when you're talking about location, which is something temporary, right? We are always going to different places. You should say estava, and you're talking about the past, right? Então, por exemplo, eu estava em casa quando você ligou. I was at home when you called me. Então, eu estava em casa. So in this case, when we're talking about two actions, one thing was happening when something else happened. The first sentence should be in imperfect tense. And if you're talking about location, you should use verb estar. I'm going to give you now an example with the verb ser in imperfect tense. Era, eu era. So we use this a lot when you're saying, when I was a child, when I was younger. So you should say, quando eu era criança, eu morava no Brasil. When I was a child, I lived in Brazil. Quando eu era mais jovem, eu dormia tarde. When I was younger, I used to go to bed late. Okay, so verb ser in imperfect tense. I hope I helped you a little bit about these two topics. Look for a video about the difference between verbs ser and estar, and look for the video about imperfect tense. Muito bom. Looking for more questions, guys. Okay, I'm gonna see here now one question from Instagram. Okay, so many questions. Okay, let me see. I answered that already. I have one new question here from Linguist. You already can speak 4 languages fluently. Are you going to learn your 5th or 6th language? If yes, then... Oh, I cannot see the rest. But yes, so you know what? I do speak 4 languages, but I'm not completely fluent in them. So I'm trying to improve them, especially Spanish. My Spanish is not that good. But I want to learn Italian and German. And I started learning German last year, and I stopped. It is so much fun. I love the sounds, the different sounds. Ich bin Brasilianerin. It's so beautiful. And I stopped. I can understand very basic things, but I cannot really speak. But I really want to continue learning German. I have some German friends, and I love them, and I really wish I could understand them when they're speaking German. And the second language that I really want to learn is Italian, which I think will not be too difficult, but I never really started learning for serious. And I can understand if they speak slow because it is similar to Portuguese, but I really want to study, and I would love to go to Italy to study there in person, but for now I don't have any serious plans. But I really need to study Italian because actually my husband, he got a citizenship, and it's Italian citizenship because of his mother, and I could get a citizenship but I have to learn Italian, and I have to have a B1 level in Italian to be able to apply for my Italian citizenship. But this is a plan for the future. But yeah, so German and Italian, really want to learn these languages. They are so beautiful. Muito bom. Okay, looking for more questions, guys. Sayed, okay. So asking about Acre. I don't think I have friends from Acre, but yeah, it's a state in Brazil. Is there anyone from Acre here watching this class? Let us know. Muito bom. Eu gosto. Gollum is asking if I like to watch soccer games. I'm not a huge fan of soccer, but of course Brazilians love soccer, and I like to watch like big games like World Cup, and just for fun, just to hang out with friends. But I'm not a huge fan of this sport. More questions, guys. So I'm reading questions on YouTube. If I have not answered your question, you can just copy and paste because it's hard for me to see everything. So my voice reminds you of a Duolingo voice. That's funny. It's not me. I never recorded anything for them. That's funny. So Dan is asking, can you talk about the difference between the words wall? Portuguese seems to have many words for the same thing. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, we have some words that could be translated into wall. That's true. We could say parede. Parede is like inside the house, the walls. We call them parede. I'm going to write in the text here in the chat. Parede. Just on YouTube I'm writing because on Instagram it's difficult. P-A-R-E-D-E. Paredes is one word. And another word for wall is muro. When it's outside, like if you have like a patio or something and you have walls, I don't know if you call them walls, do you? It's muro. M-U-R-O. What other words do you have for wall? I don't remember. If you remember, guys, let me know so we can add to the list. Muito bom. Questions, looking for more questions, guys. What are some good videos on YouTube? Porta dos Fundos has some good ones. Yes, Porta dos Fundos, it's a comedy show on YouTube. They're super funny, but they're very difficult for beginners. So I recommend them for intermediate and advanced level students. What other YouTube videos do you guys recommend? Let us know in the comments. So share your favorite YouTube videos, channels in Portuguese, Brazilian Portuguese with everyone else. And a book recommendation, it really depends on your level. I created a list of books that I recommend. You know what? I made a video about this on my YouTube channel. It is called How to Study Portuguese with Books. And in that video, I recommend many books for different levels. So go take a look. So I recommend some books for beginner, intermediate, and advanced levels. And also below the video, you find links. So I recommend you do that. Okay, guys. Question from Margus. Demora 2 horas para fazer ou leva 2 horas para fazer? Both ways are used in Brazilian Portuguese. So if you want to say it takes, it takes how many hours to do this? I think when in this sentence structure, I would use verb levar. Usually we use the verb demorar when you mean that it takes a long time. So, demora muito para fazer isso. It takes a long time. Demora muito. But you could also use in the context that you just said. Demora 2 horas para fazer isso. Like it takes 2 hours. Leva 2 horas. It takes 2 hours. You could say both ways. Both ways are correct. But I think I would recommend verb levar in this context, and I would recommend using verb demorar to say that it takes a long time. So, por exemplo, ele demorou para chegar. He took a long time to get here. So just the verb demorar, if you use it, if you don't say for how long it took, if you just use the verb demorar, it is implied, it means a long time. So demorar means to take a long time. Okay, it is implied in one word. It is implied a phrase that we use in English. So, ele demorou para chegar. He took a long time to get here. Demora para aprender português. It takes a long time to learn Portuguese. Okay, so the verb demorar, it's more, it includes all this meaning in one word. Muito bom. Very good questions. What do you think of Anita? I think she's very talented. It's not the kind of songs that I like, but it's undoubtful. It's sure that's a very talented singer. Tirar, levar e pegar. What is the difference? It really depends on the context because all these 3 verbs can be used in many different contexts. So guys, let's practice some Portuguese. Give me one sentence using verbs. Levar, tirar, and pegar. How would you use these verbs in Portuguese? Levar, tirar, and pegar. So I think I have some videos with these verbs in my YouTube channel. For sure, verb pegar and levar. I'm not sure if I have a video about verb tirar. So I think your question is about when they are synonyms, right? So they all can be used to take, to get something. to take. Tirar is usually take something off a place. And pegar means to get, but we use this in so many different contexts, these verbs. And levar usually means to take from one place to another. But all of these three verbs, they can be used in many, many different contexts. If you have a more specific question, I can help you more with that. Okay, guys, looking for more questions. So on Instagram, M vezes asking, por que diz sou grato e não estou grato? Both ways are used, actually. You can say sou grato ou estou grato. But here again it comes to the difference between verbs ser and estar. So the meaning changes a little bit. If you say sou grato, it means it's something permanent. If it means estou grato, it's something temporary, something that is happening only at that moment. So right now, I'm grateful for this. But if you say sou grato, it means you're always grateful for that. But we can use both sentences in Portuguese. What else, guys? More questions? Okay, so I'm seeing some comments from you using the verbs levar, tirar e pegar. So eu vou levar meu irmão para o supermercado. Muito bom. Like to bring someone somewhere is the verb levar. Muito bom. Or to take someone somewhere. No aeroporto, os empregados sempre me fazem tirar meus sapatos. Muito bom. So, to take off your shoes, tirar os sapatos. Exatamente, Juan. So, Juan, empregados me fazem. So, here, I know it's weird, but the verb fazer should be conjugated for empregados because they are the subject of the verb fazer. Tirar o fôlego. Oh, very good expression. So, to take your breath away. Tirar o fôlego. Tirar o fôlego. Eu pego ônibus. Muito bom. So, we use the verb pegar commonly to take a transportation. To use a transportation. Vou tirar o lixo. Muito bom. You could say tirar o lixo or also levar o lixo para fora. So, both ways are used, but I think verb tirar is more common. Muito bom. Eu levo meu filho para a escola todos os dias. Excelente. So, to take someone somewhere or bring, it is levar. Levei comida para casa. Muito bom. Like I brought home food. Muito bom, gente. Very good examples of these words. Now I'm looking for more questions. Vamos lá. How do you use pois não? The nice woman from your video about feira used that phrase. Yeah. So pois não, it's a very interesting expression that it used in Brazil. It is usually used when someone is helping someone else. It is, for instance, you go to a restaurant and the waiter is going to say pois não. So it can mean to help, to like, how can I help you? Pois não. Or it can mean, sure, pois não. So it is an expression. So as you guys know, expressions, they are not easily translated. And this phrase, pois não, can be translated in different ways. So it can mean if you enter a store, like a clothing store, it is very common for the vendors to say, pois não. It means, can I help you? Pois não, can I help you? Also, if you ask something, can I try this blouse? Posso experimentar essa blusa? Pois não, claro. It means claro, it means sure. So you can have these two different meanings. If you translate the words, it doesn't make any sense. It's an expression, right? Very good, guys. I'm almost getting to the end of this Q&A. Let me know if you guys have any questions. I have time to answer maybe one or two questions. Estou indo. Let me see. Questions. Qual é a diferença entre de jeito nenhum, nem pensar? I think they can be used interchangeably. It means like no way. Nope. It means not a chance I'm doing that. De jeito nenhum. Like in any way I'm gonna do that. De jeito nenhum. Nem pensar, not even think about it. So they're both expressions that have the same meaning. If you want to say no way I'm doing that, you could say De jeito nenhum. Ou nem pensar. Same meaning. Muito bom. So, os vídeos postados no Instagram para os meus desafios, meus seguidores também podem. It really depends on your settings. So if you publish a video publicly, everyone will see, right? Because you cannot publish a video on my account. You have to publish on your account and you tag me. And then if the video is public, I can share with everyone else. If you don't make the video public, then only you can see. And if you send me, maybe I can see. It really depends. If you have a private account, I will not be able to see your videos unless I follow you. So yeah, you have to see the settings on your account. But if you share on your stories, on your feed, everyone that follows you will be able to see your video. And if you tag me, I usually just share the video on my stories, so everyone else can also see your challenge. Okay, guys, if you have not joined the challenge yet, go to my website, speakingbrazilian.com/desafio. Desafio means challenge. And join the challenge. It's super fun. It's a very good opportunity for you to practice Portuguese. And I think, looking at one more question here from Instagram. So last question, guys. O que significa a frase só vai dar eu e você? This is a very informal sentence. I'm not sure what it means, to be honest. Só vai dar e você means like it'll be just me and you, but this is a very informal way of speaking. It's a very slang way of saying this. You could see it. I think it means it is going to be just you and me. Just you and me. That's what I think it means, but it's a very informal language. Very good questions, guys. Okay, thank you so much for joining me today. If you still have questions, don't miss my next live class. I will teach a class. It will be a more structured class, and also have more time to answer questions. And so next, I think it's next Sunday, August 15th. So add it to your calendar at 2 p.m. New York time. And if you follow me, if you sign up for my newsletter or any of my courses, you also receive emails, reminders from me. Okay, guys, it was lovely to see you today. Have a beautiful day, and I'll see you in the next class. Beijo. Até a próxima. Tchau, tchau. Okay.